Chosen one, why are you still awake at 3:11 a.m.? Why does your chest tighten when you're alone in the kitchen, staring at nothing? Why does everyone else seem to sleep soundly while you carry a weight so heavy it has no name? Stop. Right there. Stop scrolling. You didn't stumble onto this message by accident. Heaven just interrupted your evening, your loneliness, your silent questioning, because October 15th, 2025 is not just another date. It's a threshold. And you, beloved, have been summoned. Let me ask you something that's going to cut deep. How long have you been pretending you're fine? How many years have you smiled at the doctor's office, nodded at church, said, "I'm blessed," when inside you're screaming, "God, do you even see me anymore?" You've been carrying a secret grief, haven't you? The kind you can't post on Facebook. The kind that makes you wonder if you've been forgotten while everyone else gets their miracle. But here's the truth that's about to shatter everything. You weren't forgotten. You were hidden. Like Moses in the desert for 40 years, like Joseph in that prison cell, like David in those caves, anointed as king but living like a fugitive. God wasn't ignoring you, he was positioning you. And October 15th? That's the day the hiding ends. I can feel it in my spirit as I speak these words. Someone listening right now, your hands are trembling. Your throat is tight. That's not anxiety, beloved. That's recognition. Your soul remembering what your mind forgot. Before we go deeper, let me pause and speak from my heart. Thank you to every single one of you who has supported this message through Super Thanks. Your generosity isn't just financial, it's spiritual warfare. You're helping us reach chosen ones drowning in silence across this nation, people who think they're the last ones left standing. Whether you give or not, I am deeply, profoundly grateful for your presence here, your time, your attention, your open heart. It all matters to heaven. Now, if you feel that flutter in your chest, that electricity down your spine, I need you to do something. Type 999 inches the comments right now. Not tomorrow, not after you think about it. Right now. That's your covenant with heaven. That's you saying, "I'm ready, I'm listening, use me." Because what I'm about to tell you in the next hour will explain why your life has been so hard. Why you felt so alone. Why October 15th, 2025 was written in eternity before you took your first breath. The waiting is over. Chosen one. It's time to tell you everything. Why does 3 a.m. feel like a courtroom? Why does silence accuse you more than any voice ever could? Why, after 70, 80, 90 years of faithfulness, do you still wake up wondering if God has moved on without you? Let me speak directly to your secret wound. You've been whispering it in the dark, haven't you? Did I miss my moment? You watch the young ones sprint past, posting their victories, building their platforms, living their highlight reels while you sit in that kitchen chair, the same one you've sat in for 30 years. The refrigerator hums, the clock ticks. And the silence? The silence is so loud it drowns out every prayer you've ever prayed. You're the widow who still sets 2 plates out of habit before catching yourself. You're the veteran staring at medals in a dusty box, wondering if anyone remembers what you gave. You're the grandmother on her knees every single night, crying out for children who don't call, grandchildren who don't know your Jesus. You've been faithful. You've tithed when the bank account screamed. You've served when your body begged for rest. And yet, here you are, still waiting. The church pew feels colder now, doesn't it? More empty. You look around and wonder, where did everyone go? Where did the fire go? Your friends are buried now. Your spouse's side of the bed is a desert of untouched sheets. Your dreams? You folded them up years ago like old letters you'll never send. Maybe you lie awake listening to your own heartbeat, counting the spaces between each thump, wondering how many you have left. The doctor's appointments pile up. The prescription bottles multiply. Your children, God bless them, they mean well, but they look at you with that look, that gentle, pitying smile that says, "Just rest now. Your time is over." But is it? Psalm 71:9 cries out, "Do not cast me away when I am old. Do not forsake me when my strength is gone." David wrote that, the giant killer, the king, the man after God's own heart. Even he felt this terror that maybe, just maybe, God's attention had shifted elsewhere. So let me ask you what you've been too afraid to ask yourself. If God's not finished with you, then why does it feel like you're buried? Here's what's about to break every chain around your soul. You're not buried, beloved. You're planted. Do you hear me? The enemy has been whispering grave over your life, but God has been declaring garden. That stillness you've been living in, that agonizing, suffocating stillness, it's not abandonment. It's divine anesthesia. God has put your flesh to sleep so he can operate on your spirit without interruption. Think of Lazarus, 4 days dead. Everyone said it was over. The mourners had gone home, the tomb was sealed, but Jesus was never late. He was strategic. He waited until there was no human explanation left, no natural remedy remaining, so that when he spoke, "Lazarus, come forth," no one could deny it was God. You've been in your 4-day season, haven't you? 4 years, 4 decades, 40 years of feeling forgotten. But John 11:4 records Jesus saying, "This sickness is not unto death, but for the glory of God." Your delay isn't denial. It's preparation for undeniable glory. Moses was hidden in Midian for 40 years. 40 years tending sheep when he was born to deliver nations. But those 40 years weren't wasted. They were God's boot camp. Every sunrise in that desert, every lonely night watching flocks, every moment Moses thought he'd been disqualified, God was disqualifying his pride and qualifying his humility. Anna the prophetess was 84 years old, spending every single day in the temple while the world moved on outside. People probably whispered, "Poor old Anna, still waiting." But Luke 2:37-38 says she was the first to proclaim Jesus as the Messiah, not the priests, not the scholars, the old widow who refused to leave her post. Your stillness isn't punishment, it's positioning. But here's the question that will determine everything. Will you believe that your next breath is proof God's not finished? Will you dare to believe that October 15th, 2025 is your divine release date? If that just hit your soul like lightning, don't scroll past this moment. Whisper it out loud right now, "I'm still here because heaven's not finished." And if you have the courage, write it in the comments. Let that declaration shake hell and wake heaven, because what I'm about to tell you next will prove that your waiting wasn't wasted, it was weaponized. Listen to me closely, chosen one, because what I'm about to reveal will make your blood run cold and your spirit catch fire at the same time. October 15th, 2025 is not a random date scribbled on heaven's calendar. It's a checkpoint, a divine alarm clock that's been ticking since before you were born. And here's what they don't tell you in Sunday school. God doesn't work in accidents. He works in appointments. You remember July 11th? That wasn't just another message. That was chapter 1 of your awakening. July 1st before that? That was the whisper. But October 15th? That's the shout. That's when heaven stops hinting and starts declaring. Habakkuk 2-3 says it plainly, "Though it linger, wait for it. It will certainly come and will not delay." You've been living in what you thought was God's waiting room, haven't you? 70 years, 80 years. Sitting in that cold spiritual lobby, watching younger people get called while you flip through the same torn magazines of disappointment. But what if I told you, lean in close, you weren't in the waiting room at all? You were in the war room. Every tear, ammunition. Every sleepless night, strategy sessions. Every closed door, God positioning you where the enemy couldn't see you coming. Isaiah 60-22 thunders across eternity. At the right time, I, the Lord, will make it happen. Not your right time, not when your arthritis feels better or your bank account looks fuller. His right time. And beloved, October 15th is it. Can you hear it? That sound. It's not thunder. It's the sound of locks clicking open across the spiritual realm. It's ancient scrolls unrolling with your name written in golden ink. It's the sound of God himself saying, "Enough. My chosen one has waited long enough." But here's what's going to wreck you. Psalm 90. 2-14 promises. They will still bear fruit in old age. They will stay fresh and green. You thought your season was over. You thought God retired you along with your pension. But God doesn't have a retirement plan for warriors. He has a reactivation plan. You're not fading, beloved. You're ripening. Every grey hair is a medal of honor. Every wrinkle is a verse of testimony. Every pill bottle on your nightstand is proof you survived what should have killed you. And on October 15th, God is about to show you why he kept you alive. Mark this date. Write it on your bathroom mirror, in lipstick if you have to. Tape it to your refrigerator. Whisper it when you wake at 3 a.m. The 15th of October 2025. I receive my divine assignment. Type it below right now. Let heaven see your yes before you even know what you're saying yes to. Because what's coming next isn't just blessing, chosen one. It's commissioning. You're sitting there right now, aren't you? 73 years old. Maybe 86. Maybe 92. And somewhere deep in your chest, there's a question you've been too afraid to ask out loud. Did I waste it all? You look back at the decades and all you see are the things you didn't do. The business you never started. The book you never wrote. The ministry that died before it breathed. You buried your spouse. You buried your friends. You buried dreams so deep you can't remember what they looked like anymore. And now you're here, staring at the ceiling at 4 a.m., whispering, "God, did I miss it?" Stop. Look at me. Listen with every fiber of your being. You didn't miss anything. You were being marinated. Moses was 80 years old, 80 when God called him to the burning bush. 80. The world would have given him a gold watch and a nursing home bed. But God said, "Now you're ready. Now you've seen enough, failed enough, wandered enough. Now I can trust you with a nation." Sarah laughed at 90 because the promise seemed ridiculous. But Genesis 21:6 says she declared, "God has brought me laughter, and everyone who hears about this will laugh with me." Her wrinkled hands held the impossible. Her aged womb birthed nations. Caleb was 85 when he roared, "Give me this mountain, not a rocking chair, not a quiet Sunday, a mountain." Joshua 14:10-11. I am still as strong today as the day Moses sent me out. You think that's ancient history? Let me bring it to your kitchen table. Colonel Sanders was 65, broke, living on a $105 Social Security check when he started knocking on doors with a chicken recipe, rejected 1,009 times. But at 65, KFC was born. Grandma Moses picked up a paintbrush at 78 and became one of America's most beloved artists. Nelson Mandela walked out of prison at 71 and became president at 75, reshaping a nation. Laura Ingalls Wilder published her first Little House book at 65, creating a legacy that still teaches millions. Every wrinkle on your face is a line of poetry, God wrote. Every grey hair is a silver crown. Every scar, listen to me, every scar is a credential that you survived what should have killed you. Psalm 92:14 promises. They will still bear fruit in old age. They will stay fresh and green. Fresh and green. Not withered. Not forgotten. Not expired. You thought you were in the sunset, but chosen one, you're standing in the sunrise of your most powerful chapter. Because here's what hell doesn't want you to know. Your so-called wasted years were actually your doctoral program. Every closed door taught you detachment. Every betrayal taught you discernment. Every loss taught you that God is enough when nothing else is left. You weren't forgotten, beloved. You were reserved. Reserved for a generation that doesn't need your resume. They need your scars. They need to see someone who's been through hell and still believes heaven is real. If you've ever whispered, "It's too late for me, I need you to type something different right now. Type, I'm right on time. Because October 15th isn't about what you lost. It's about what you're about to become. Listen to me carefully, chosen one. That heart attack at 62 wasn't random. That divorce that shattered you at 70 wasn't just bad luck. That child who walked away, that bankruptcy that crushed you, that diagnosis the doctor delivered with apologetic eyes, none of it was accidental. You were under attack because hell saw something in you that you've forgotten about yourself. Let me ask you something that's going to cut straight through. Why do you think your life has been harder than everyone else's? Why does it feel like you've been carrying burdens that would have buried your neighbors? Why have you spent nights on your knees, sobbing into carpet that's worn thin from your prayers, wondering if God even remembers your address? Because the enemy doesn't waste ammunition on empty targets. Job 1-8 records God himself saying to Satan, "Have you considered my servant Job?" God pointed him out. Why? Because Job carried something so precious, so powerful, that heaven wanted to prove it could survive hell's fury. And what happened? Satan unleashed everything: boils, bankruptcy, dead children, friends who became accusers. But Job didn't break. You know that story, don't you? Because you've been living it. The devil tried your health. You're still breathing. The devil tried your family. You're still standing. The devil tried your finances. You're still here. The devil tried your mind, whispering that you should just give up, that it's too late, that God has moved on without you. But you're still here. Do you understand what that means? Your survival isn't luck. It's proof. Proof that what hell threw at you wasn't strong enough to kill what God planted in you. Think about Joseph, 17 years old, with dreams from heaven, then thrown in a pit by his own brothers, sold like cattle, falsely accused by Potiphar's wife, forgotten in prison for years. But Genesis 50-20 reveals the secret. You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good. Every attack was actually positioning. Every injustice was preparation. Every closed door was protection. And Jesus, the Son of God himself, was rejected, betrayed, beaten, and nailed to wood. But that crucifixion wasn't his ending. It was the doorway to resurrection power that's still shaking kingdoms 2,000 years later. Your scars aren't shame, beloved. They're your signature. Your survival is your sermon. Every wrinkle on your face is a battle won. Every grey hair is a trophy. Every tear you've cried has been collected in heaven's bottles. And on October 15th, God is about to pour them back out as anointing oil over your head. If you've survived what should have killed you, if you're still breathing after hell's best shot, I need you to declare it right now. Type it below. I'm living proof that hell failed. Say it until your spirit believes it. Because that's not just a comment. That's your testimony. That's the weapon that will set others free. Because here's what's about to happen, chosen one. On October 15th, heaven cashes in on every tear you've ever cried, every midnight prayer, every moment you chose faith over fear. The test is over. The proof is in. And now comes the promotion. There's a room inside your spirit, chosen one. A room you haven't entered in years. I can see you right now. You're listening to these words, and something deep inside is stirring. Something you buried, something you locked away because life told you it wasn't practical, because someone told you to grow up, because the world convinced you that dreams are for the young and foolish. But that room is still there. You used to write, didn't you? Late at night when the house was quiet and your soul could finally breathe. You used to speak words that carried weight, that made people lean in and listen. You used to really believe that you were made for something extraordinary, something that would outlast your body, something that would echo into eternity. What happened to that person? I'll tell you what happened. Life happened. Disappointment knocked on your door so many times you stopped answering. People you trusted broke promises. Dreams you nurtured died slow, painful deaths. And one day, you walked into that sacred room of your spirit, looked around at all the dust-covered journals, all the locked drawers in your soul, and you whispered, "Maybe I was wrong. Maybe I'm just ordinary." And you closed the door. But here's what breaks my heart, and here's what you need to understand. God never left that room. While you've been living outside of yourself, surviving instead of thriving, settling for less instead of stepping into more, He's been in there, waiting for you to remember who you were before the world told you who you should be. Listen to me. The widow in 1 Kings chapter 17, she was down to her last meal, her last handful of flour, her last drop of oil. She was preparing to die. But when Elijah asked her to feed him first, to surrender her last bit of provision, what happened? Her flour never ran out. Her oil never dried up. Not during the entire famine. The fire of lack taught her the language of supernatural supply. And once she learned that language, she never went hungry again. Your fire is about to teach you the same language, the language of limitless provision, the language of divine multiplication, the language of more than enough. But you have to stop fighting the fire and start learning from it. Can you hear it right now? That creak? That's the door to your forgotten room opening. Not tomorrow, not next week, tonight. Close your eyes, I'm serious. Put your hand on your chest and feel your heart beating. That rhythm that's not just blood pumping. That's the sound of a calling that never died. That's the echo of a purpose that's been waiting, patient as eternity, for you to remember. Say this out loud. God, I'm ready to remember the room. Say it again, louder this time. Type it in the comments. God, I'm ready to remember the room. Because that one line, those 7 words, may restore what 40 years of silence tried to steal. But here's what happens next. Beloved, lean in close now. Because what I'm about to tell you isn't speculation. It isn't metaphor. October 15th, 2025 is not just another square on your kitchen calendar between doctor appointments and birthdays you've stopped celebrating. It's heaven's alarm clock. And it's about to go off. Right now, this very second, there are angels in the throne room repositioning names on ancient scrolls. I see it in my spirit as clearly as I see your face. They're moving your name from the hidden column to the revealed column, from waiting to activated, from overlooked to deployed. Can you feel that shift in the atmosphere? That's not the air conditioning. That's the sound of eternity cracking open over your life. Listen to me carefully. For 70 years, maybe 80, maybe 90, you've been asking God, when? When will you use me? When will my life matter? And heaven has been whispering back, not yet, almost. Soon. October 15th is the day God stops whispering and starts roaring. Ecclesiastes 3:1 says, "To everything there is a season, a time for every purpose under heaven." Your season of silence? It ends on October 15th. Your season of feeling invisible while others got promoted, celebrated, recognized. It ends on October 15th. Your season of wondering if you missed your calling. Beloved, it ends on October 15th. But here's what's going to shock you, what's going to shatter every lie you've believed about your age, your limitations, your so-called expired dreams. God didn't keep you alive just to reminisce about the good old days. He didn't sustain you through cancer, through grief, through bankruptcy, through loneliness, just so you could fade quietly into a nursing home. He kept you alive to rewrite the future, not yours only, your grandchildren's, your neighborhood's, this nation's. You think you're watching the end credits of your life? You're standing at the opening scene of your greatest chapter. I see great crowns glowing like molten gold. I see walkers becoming war chariots. I see trembling hands that can barely hold a coffee cup, suddenly steadying the faith of an entire generation that's lost its way. Moses was 80 when he split a sea. You think your best work is behind you? Here's what terrifies hell about October 15th. It's the day the elders finally remember who they are. It's the day wisdom stops apologizing. It's the day the ones who've been through the fire stop hiding their scars and start using them as credentials. The hidden are about to emerge, the forgotten are about to be found, and the silenced, beloved, you're about to roar. So I need you to do something right now. Type your city below. Let heaven see where his chosen ones are rising from. Brooklyn, Dallas, Phoenix, wherever you are, claim your territory. Because what's coming isn't just personal, it's territorial, it's generational. October 15th isn't an ending, it's an ignition. Beloved chosen one, as we close this sacred moment together, I need you to hold 3 eternal truths close to your heart. First, October 15th, 2025 is not just a date, it's your divine appointment. The silence you've endured wasn't abandonment, it was preparation. Every tear, every sleepless night, every moment you felt invisible, God was refining you for this hour. Second, you are not too old, not too late, and certainly not forgotten. Moses led at 80, Sarah gave birth at 90. Your age isn't your limitation, it's your authorization. Those grey hairs are your crown of wisdom. Those scars are your credentials of survival. Third, the stirring you feel right now in your chest, that's not wishful thinking. That's the Holy Spirit confirming what heaven has always known. You were chosen before the foundation of the world. But hear me clearly, you are not walking this road alone. The God who kept you breathing through every valley is still working on your behalf right now. He hasn't brought you this far to abandon you. Romans 8:31 reminds us, if God is for us, who can be against us? Not your age, not your circumstances, not even your doubts. And beyond God's faithfulness, you have a family here. Look at these comments. Thousands of chosen ones just like you, rising together. We see you, we believe in you, we will pray with you. So let me ask you one final question that will echo in your soul long after this video ends. If God has kept you alive for such a time as this, what will you do with the time you have left? Don't just think about it, tell us in the comments. Share what God spoke to your heart today. Ask for prayer if you need it. And please, share this message with someone who's struggling, someone who thinks their season is over. Remind them they're not alone. Thank you for staying with me until the very end. Your faithfulness tells me everything about your heart. You're hungry for more. If you haven't already, subscribe and hit that notification bell. We're building something powerful here, a movement of awakened elders who refuse to fade quietly. Now, bow your head with me. Heavenly Father, I place my hand on the shoulder of every soul hearing these words. You see their weariness, their questions, their hidden pain. Lord, breathe fresh strength into their bones. Open doors no man can shut. Provide where there is lack. Heal where there is brokenness. Surround them with your presence so tangibly they cannot doubt you're near. Give them courage for tomorrow, wisdom for every decision, and unshakable faith that their best days are not behind them, they're just beginning. Let them feel your smile, your approval, your deep love for who they are and who they're becoming. In Jesus' mighty name, amen. Now go, beloved. Walk in your authority. You are chosen. You are loved. You are never, ever alone. God bless you mightily.